I'm a mad dog biting myself for sympathy by Louise Erdrich. Who am I is just the habit of what I always was, and who I'll be is the result. This comes clear to me at the wrong time. I am standing in a line, almost rehabilitated. Walgreens is a store in downtown Fargo. I have my purchase in my arms and I am listening to canned carols on the loudspeaker. I plan to buy this huge stuffed parrot with purple wings and a yellow beak. Really, it's a toucan. I get told this later in the tank. You think you know everything about yourself. How much money it would take, for instance, to make you take it. How you would react when caught. But then you find yourself walking out the door with a stuffed toucan just to see if shit happens. If doo-doo occurs. And it does, though no one stops me right at first. My motive is my girlfriend's Christmas present. And it is strange because I do have the money to pay for a present, though nothing very big or elaborate. I think of Dawn the minute I see the bird, and wish I'd won it for her at the county fair, though we never went to a fair. I see myself throwing a half dozen softballs and hitting every wooden milk jug, or maybe tossing rings. But those things are weighted or loaded wrong, and that's another reason I never could have won this toucan for Dawn. Because the whole thing's a cheat in general. So what the hell, I think, and lift the bird. Outside in the street is one of my favorite kind of days. Right there in the drag middle of winter, when the snow's a few hard gray clumps and a dusty grass shows on the boulevards. I like the smell in the air, the dry dirt, the patches of water shrinking, and the threat of snow, too, and the gloom of the sky. The usual rubberneck turns to look at me. This bird is really huge and furry, with green underneath its floppy wings and fat, stuffed orange feet. I don't know why they'd have a strange thing like this at Walgreens. Maybe a big promotion. Maybe some kind of come-on for the holiday season. And then the manager yells at me from the door. I'm halfway down the street when I hear him. "Come back here!" Probably pointing at me too, though there was no reason as I stick out plenty, and still more when I run. First, I put the bird underneath my arm, but it throws on my balance, so I clutch it to my chest. That is no better. Thinking back now, I should have ditched it. It slipped off through the alleys and disappeared. Of course, I didn't, otherwise none of all that had happened would have happened. I set the bird on my shoulders and hold the lumpy feet under my chin, and then I bear down, like going for the distance or the gold. Let my legs turn beneath me. I'll leap curbs, dodge among old men in long gray coats, and babies in strollers, shoot up and over car hoods until I come to the railroad depot, and, like it was some sort of destination, though it isn't, I slip in the door and look out the window. That's when my stroke of luck, good or bad is no telling, occurs. The car drives into the parking lot, a solid plastic luggage rack strapped on its roof. A man and a woman jump out, late for a connection, and they leave the car running in neutral. I walk out of the depot and stand before the car. At that moment, it seems as though events are taking me somewhere. I open up the hinges of the plastic rack, stuff in the bird. No one seems to notice me. Encouraged, I get in. I put my hands on the wheel, I take the car out of neutral, and we start to roll, back out of the lot. I change gears, then turn at the crossroads, and look both ways. I don't know what you would do in this situation. I'll ask you. There you are in a car. It isn't yours, but for the time being, that doesn't matter. You look up the street one way, it's clear. You look down the other, and a clump of people are still arguing and trying to describe you with their hands. Either way, the road will take you straight out of town. The clear way is north, where you don't know anyone. South, what's there? I let the car idle. My parents. It's not like I hate them or anything. I just can't see them. I can lose my eyes and form my sister's face behind my eyelids, but not my parents' faces. Where their eyes should meet mine, nothing. That's all. I shouldn't show up at the farm, not with the toucan, much less the car. I think a few seconds longer. The bird on the roof, it is for Dawn. You could say she got me into this, so Dawn should get me out. But she doesn't live in Fargo anymore. She lives in Colorado, which complicates everything later, for it means crossing state lines, and all just to bring her that bird. And then another complexity, although at the time I don't realize, occurs when the woman at the depot, the one who has left the car, appears very suddenly in the rearview mirror. I have just started moving south when I hear a thump from behind. It is so surprising, just imagine. She is there on the trunk, hanging on as though by magnetics. She reaches up and grabs the hinges on the rooftop luggage rack, gets a better grip, and sprawls across the back window. She is a little woman. Through the side view, I see her blue heels in the air, the edge of a black coat. I hear her shrieking in an inhumane, desperate way that horrifies me so much, I floor the gas. We must go by everyone fast, but the effect is dreamlike, so slow. I see the faces of the clump of people, their mouths falling open, arms stretching and grasping as I turn the corner, and the woman rolls over and over like a seal in water. Then she flies off the trunk and howls them before in her rush so they heap on the ground. She is in their arms. They put her down as though she was a live torpedo, and keep running after me. Scandinavians, I think, because my grandmother's one. They don't give up the ghost. I just want to yell out. Tell them, okay, so it's stolen, it's gone. It's a cheap stuffed bird anyhow. And I will park the car, I promise. I start talking to myself. I'll check the oil in Sioux Falls. No sweat. Then the worst thing comes about. And all of a sudden, I understand the woman with her eyes rearing back in her skull, her little heels pointed in the air. I understand the faces of the people in the group, their blurting voices. Buh, baby. As from the back seat, it wails. I have my first reaction, disbelief. I have taken the scenic route at a fast clip, but I know the view anyway. I'm down near the river and have decided from there I will take 30 and avoid the interstate. Always so well patrolled. I park and turn around at a frantic whirl. I revolve twice in my seat, and I still can't see the baby. I am behind on the new equipment. He sits in something round and firm, shaped like a big football, strapped down the chest and over the waist, held tight by a padded cushion. Above his face there is a little diamond attachment made of plastic, a bunch of keys, and plastic balls that dangle out of reach. I have never seen a child this little before, so small that it is not a child yet. Its face is tiny and dark, almost reddish, or copper, and its fingers splayed out against his cheeks, are the feet of a sparrow. There is a bottle of milk and a bag beside it. I put the end in its mouth, and it sucks, but it will not hold the bottle. I keep putting the end in its hand, and it won't grasp. Oh, screw it, I finally say, and gun it right out of there. Its crying begins again, and I wish I knew how to stop it. I have to slow down to get through some traffic. Sirens rush ahead on their way to the interstate, passing in a squeal which surprises me. This car, this pack on top, I'm so obvious. I think I'll maybe park at the old King Leo's, get out, and run. But then I pass it. I think it will be better if I get down south around the South Dakota border, or in the Sandhills, where I can hide out in cow shelters. So I go south. Over me the sky is bearing down and bearing down, so I think now maybe snow will fall. A white Christmas like the music in the drugstore. I know how to drive in snow, and this car has decent tires. I can feel them. They never lose grip or plane above the road. They just keep rolling, humming below me. All four in this unified direction, so dull that after some time it all seems right again. The baby drops off, stops crying. It shouldn't have been there, should it? I have to realize the situation. There is no use in thinking back and saying to myself, well, you shouldn't have stole that damn bird in the first place, because I did do that, and then, well, as you see, it is like I went along with the arrangement of things as they happened. Of course, around halfway down there is a smoky waiting, which I knew would happen, but not whether it would be before or behind me. So now my answer comes. The officer's car turns off a dirt road and starts flashing, starts coming at me from the rear. I take it up to 80 and we move, so the frozen water standing in the fields flashes by like scarves and the silver snow whirls out of nowhere to either side of us. And what rushes up before us is a heat of rodent earth. I'm not all that afraid, I never am, and that's my problem. I feel sure they will not use their weapons. I keep driving and then, as we take a turn, as we come to a railroad crossing, I hear the plastic roof rack snap open. I look through the rear view by reflex and see the bird as it dives out of the sky, big and plush, a purple blur that plunges its yellow beak through the windshield and throws the state police off course so that they skid, roll over once, come back with such force the car rightened itself. They sit there in shock. I keep on going. The pack blows off and I reason that now the car is less obvious. I should have thought about that in the first place, but then the bird would not have hatched out and demolished the police car. Just about this time, however, being as the toucan is gone, I begin to feel perhaps there is no reason to go on traveling this way. I begin to think I will just stop at the nearest farm, leave the car and the baby, and keep hitching south. I begin to think if I show up at Dawn's, even with nothing, on a Christmas Eve, she will not throw me out. She will have to take me, let me stay there, on the couch. She lives with someone now, a guy 10 years older than me, 5 years older than her. By now he has probably taken her places, shown her restaurants and zoos, gone camping in the wilderness, skied. She will know things and I will still be the same person that I was the year before. And I am glad about the toucan then, which would have made me look ridiculous, showing up there like a kid in junior high school with a stuffed animal, when her tastes have broadened. I should have sent her chocolates, a little red and green box. I was wishing I had, and then I look past the road in front of me and realize it is snowing. It isn't like the ordinary snow, even from the first. It is like that rhyme or story in the second grade.
The sky falling and let's go and tell the king. It comes down. I think to myself, well, let it come down. And I keep driving. I know you'll say it. You'll wonder, you'll think, what about that child in the back of him? That baby, only 3 weeks old, little Mason Joseph Andrews, because he does have a name and all. But what could I know of that? I talk to it. I'm good at driving in the snow, but I need to talk while I'm driving. I'll tell this now, it doesn't matter. I say, you little bastard, you, what are you doing here? It is my state of mind. I put the window open. Snow whites out the windshield, and I can't see the road in front of us. I watch the margin, try to follow the yellow line, which is obscured by a twisted blanket. I'm good at this, though. I need my concentration, which vanishes when he bawled. My ears are full. He roars, and I hear the sound as wind, as sound that came out of its mother. I hit the plastic egg and feel the straps give, feel the car give on the road. I swerve into another car's ruts, weave along the dotted yellow, and then under me is snow, and still, I keep going at a steady pace, although the ground feels all hollow and uncertain. The tracks narrow into one, and then widen, so I suddenly realize this. I have followed a snowmobile trail, and now I am somewhere off the road. Immediately, just like in a cartoon, like Dumbo flying and he realizes that he isn't supposed to be up in the air, I panic and get stuck. So now I'm in awful shape, out there in a field, in a storm that could go on for 3 more minutes or 3 more days. I sit there thinking until the baby gets discouraged and falls asleep. And get this, it is a white car, harder to see than ever. And not a bit of this did I ever think or plan for. I can't remember what they say in the papers every fall. The advice about what to do when a blizzard hits, whether to stay on the road with a car, or set out walking for help. There is the baby. It is helpless, but does not seem so helpless. I know now that I should have let the car run, the heater, but at the time I don't think, except I do rip that dangle of toys off its seat and tie it on the aerial when I go out. And I do leave its blankets in there. Never take any. I just wrap my arms around my chest and start walking south. By not stopping for a minute, I live through the storm, though I am easy to catch after it lets up, and I freeze in here. Alright, you know that baby wasn't hurt anyway. You heard. Cold, yes, but it lived. They asked me in court why I didn't take it along with me, bundled in my jacket, and I say, well, it lived, didn't it? Proving I did right. But I know better sometimes, now that I've spent time alone here in Mandan. More time running than I knew I had available. I think about that boy. He'll grow up. But already I am more to him than his own father because I taught him what I know about the cold. It sinks in. There to stay, doesn't it? And people, they will leave you. No matter what you say, there is no return. There's just the emptiness all around, and you in it. Like singing up from the bottom of a well. Like nothing else, until you harm yourself. Until you are a mad dog just biting yourself for sympathy. Because there is no relenting, and there is no hand that falls, and there is no woman to come home to take you in her arms. I know I taught that boy something in those hours I was walking south. I know I'll always be inside him, cold and black, about the size of a coin, maybe. Sometimes he touches against the skids, and he'll say, what is this? And the thing is, he won't know it is a piece of thin ice I've put there, the same as I have in me.